Hey, I'm Jeff, your research nerd. I've been doing research for companies, campaigns, and associations for more than 20 years. On this channel, we talk about how to find information that's useful in your business, your education, or your daily life. Today, I want to talk to you about how to do research on a labor union. You might be a member of a labor union, or you might be working somewhere where they are organizing a labor union. This seems to be happening quite a lot these days. So I want to show you some public information sources where you can learn more about your union, how they spend their money, or also how your employer spends money in dealing with labor relations. The place you want to start is to Google you can just Google DOL Online Public Disclosure Room. That's for the U.S. Department of Labor. That's the easiest way to navigate to this site. So you can see the top under the tab Union Search. You see a data table here with all these unions. You can type in your union's name. I'm just going to type in teachers and see what teachers unions pop up. Now you can see all these other different columns like city and state. So I'm in California, I'll pick California, and it's narrowed it down even more. So down here, or over here on the left side, you see a column with, says like has years 2021. You see LM3, LM2. These are different forms that unions file depending on their size. So an LM2 form is for a union that has more than $250,000 a year in receipts. An LM3 form is for unions between $10,000 and $250,000, and then an LM4 form is for unions that are below $10,000 a year in receipts. So basically, it just means you can tell from that what size the union is. I'm going to click on this one for the state AFT Federation here in California. And this brings up their annual report. So every union has to file these reports. They're kind of like, well, nonprofits do have to file a form like this called 990. It's somewhat analogous to the kind of financial disclosures that candidates and members of Congress have to file. It's kind of similar report. You see in here, same kind of information, their assets and liabilities, their receipts and disbursements, loans they have, sales of investments, type of investments, assets, other liabilities, all sorts of information. Under Schedule 11, you see all their officers and their disbursements. So this has things like salaries, other disbursements they made to them for various different reasons. But you can look up the leaders of the union and see like what the president makes, what the secretary treasurer makes, and on down, and see how many officers they have. They also have disbursements to employees, so other people who are not necessarily the leaders of the union, but all the different jobs in the main office or something like that. You see field representatives, communications director, a lot of people. They also have information on the number of members they have. So here we see they have more than 78,000 members. Also, you see information on the money they received and where it came from. There's also information on their representational activities, so the money they spent representing their members. So you'll see disbursements for all sorts of different things here. Now, there's all kinds of other information you can find in here as well. On the tab Payer-Payee Search, if you know about a specific employee or consultant a union used, you can search for them by name here. This field file number, so each union has a specific, it's called a file number and a number associated with it. And so back on the union search tab, this first column, file number, you see that there. That's the number that you could reference if you wanted to narrow your search more. There's also the officer employee search tab, so you can search again for officers, employees by names. And you can just download all this data by year if you really want to crunch some numbers yourself. Another interesting place to look is on the Other Reports tab. And you'll see when you click on that, you'll see tabs underneath it with other types of forms. The LM30 form is a form that union officers and employees have to file. So when you click on one of these at the top, the forms for that person are underneath them. I searched for John Sweeney. He used to be the president of the AFL-CIO. You can click on one of his forms. We'll click on the 2004 form. And here's his 2004 LM30 form. You see the period it covers. And it also shows areas where he might have had an interest in something and what kind of compensation he received from that. So I guess because of his position as the head of the AFL-CIO, he had some sort of position or interest in various businesses affiliated with the union. So you see Amalgamated Bank, which is a union bank, and they provided banking services to the AFL-CIO. They gave him a Christmas basket with 6 bottles of wine and football tickets that he gave away to staff. Another tab is LM20 and 21 Labor Relations Consultant forms. So if an employer engages a consultant in their labor relations matters, it's typically a law firm, they have to disclose that. So the relationship is disclosed on an LM20 form, and then the compensation paid to the consultant is disclosed on an LM21 form. So again, that's from the employer side, when the employers hire consultants to deal with their union matters. Employers also have to file an LM10 form, which you see on this tab here. And that is where they have to answer a series of questions about labor relations matters. So we'll look at one here. When you click on an employer here, you see below it all the related LM10 forms. So this is Commonwealth Edison. They're a utility company, I guess in the Chicago area. And you see questions to have to answer. Did you make or promise to make any payment or loan to any labor organization or officer? Then there's a lot of questions about, did they try to coerce people against union activities, things like that. They answer those questions, and then where they've answered yes, they have to add more information. So see, they answered yes to item 8A, which was about things of value. And they have to name the person and what it was. So I guess they had maybe some dinners or lunches where they talk. Sometimes you see if an employer gives their union representative an office space or computer to work off of, things like that, that type of information is disclosed here. If you really want to get down into the weeds, you can also look up collective bargaining agreements that unions have with employers. You can search by employer name or by union, location, expiration dates, and you can open these up and read them in detail. So that's how to find out more information about your union, or if your workplace has a union organizing effort, or you want to look into your employer's activities related to their unions. You can find all that stuff at the U.S. Department of Labor. If you have any questions or need any help finding any information, please leave a comment below. Or if you've looked at this kind of information before, I'd be curious to hear from you, because sometimes I feel like I'm the only person that looks at this stuff. So I'd be curious to see if there's anyone out there who else also finds this information interesting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.